The MDR. How many builds can somebody make with this damn gun before they get it right? Stick around and see what my build for the Urban MDR was. Maybe it's kind of like somebody else's. Maybe it's not. You decide. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. Hello guys, and welcome back to another Division video. Once again, we've got another build, and this is, I believe, the third gun build that I've actually done, and I'm enjoying this build. I really am. I mean, it's not every day that you get to build a build around a gun that actually says, hey, you need to be able to make a status effect. That way you can make more damage. So that's my favorite thing because it deals with skill. And I love skill builds probably more than any build on the game. So I decided to go ahead and make this MDR. And before we start, I haven't really looked over YouTube or anywhere to see if this build is similar to other builds, but I'd say it's kind of similar considering that I got 3 tactician with it, because it gives you that skill haste and extra skill with it because people are trying to get that to cool down their stuff quicker. But as far as the skill haste that I do have and the kind of skill power that I do have, not everybody's going to be able to get that high. I mean, there may be people that's higher than me. I mean, but I don't really see how they're going to get that much higher with the kind of damage that I push out. Now, of course, my toughness isn't that high, but this goes with a sacrifice that you have to do in order to make the build the way I did make it. Now, am I kind of spongy? Yes. Not really spongy, but I am kind of weak. But considering what I'm about to show you, I think I've made up for it in a sense. Now, it doesn't matter any build that you build. Doesn't matter if there's a lot of people on you. You're going to die regardless of how tough you are. But I've built this build to the best of my knowledge and what I think it should be built like. I'm not saying that it's the best build that you can build with an MDR. I never do say it's the best build every time I make a build, but I do love this build. It's very potent, and it's just a really good build. So that's in my eyes. Anyways, guys, so furthermore, let's get into my abilities and why I did choose them. I did choose booster once again. Now, the reason being is because you can see that my cooldown is 18.6 seconds, and you're like, wow, that's pretty low. Yes, it is pretty low, considering my skill power. That ain't fake skill power either. I don't use invented to get it, and I'm not using Bear's chest piece to get it. So that's pure raw skill power all the time. Now, you're like, wow, how did you get 18.6%? Originally, cooldowns was 54% or 54 seconds, and now I'm got to 18.6. That's because I've got 50% skill haste, the max you can get, and the skill power right here is 259, 736. All right, so there you go. I mean, that's how I've gotten it down to where it is, and I'll show you it even can go down to 17 something. Alright, so anyways, guys, you can see I got 169,383 heal points to myself. That's because I've got 6% self heal mods on me, 6%. So right there is 24 more percent, and that adds on top. And I wanted more heal because just to let you know, between that and the support station, of course, the support station is 13.3 seconds for my cooldown, and I would pick the revive if I did pick that, just because I want to be revived. I don't really care about all the other stuff. It's great to have it, but revive is number 1 in my book. Plus, it heals you more. Now, I can raise the healing rate on that to over 12,000 because I've got the mods to do it with. And once my skill pops even higher, because I do got talented on my gun, then it goes down to 12 seconds or something like that. So yes, it could be good, but the thing about it is I picked the booster over all of them just because I have about 2 to 3 seconds between it refilling back up before my overheal runs out. Now you're like, overheal? Well, I'll show you. I've got vigorous chest piece. So I'm looking at my overheal and I'm like, okay, how long does it take to get that cooldown between my overheal and what I'm actually getting it back in a time? Now you can see um, the cooldown is 18.6 seconds, and it don't tell you how long it lasts. But I just go by my cooldown on my overheal. So once that goes over, I feel like okay, it's done. Then it's over with. But you know, with not having any much health and stuff like that, you want to be able to get more damage resistance on you, and plus you want to push out more damage also. So that's why I did that. Now I know it was a long time describing all that, but yeah, you get the reason why I did. I'm not one of these guys that's going to show you a build and not explain to you why I did it and why I feel like it's the right choice to make go by. All right, so I went with Seeker Mine. Now you do know with Urban MDR, status effects is what makes you push out more damage than what you normally would. That's its main talent, you know. So I went through all of it, guys. I went through regular Seeker Mine. Yes, that pushes out a major big boost in damage, and it's 10 on cooldown. But I don't like just one solid thing. I want to be able to damage multiple enemies. Air Burst, I went through it. I went through Gas Charge, and I finally landed on Cluster just because it hurts multiple enemies. It's hurting them, plus it makes them bleed. That's the status effect. And it's 15.10 seconds, and I think I can knock it down to 14 or 13 seconds with the talented activated. So the thing about it is that not only did I want to damage multiple enemies and make them bleed, that way I could do more status effect or have status effects and make my gun more potent on multiple enemies. If anybody knows, the Urban MDR shoots pretty quick, it's pretty steady, and it's got pretty good range on it. So it's a really good gun all the way around. Now, the reason why I picked it majorly over Gas Charge and Air Burst, and I'm not even worried about the Space Seeker Mine, but the Air Burst and the Gas Charge is because once these are activated and they hit, you've got to sit there and wait until that either that gas or that fire starts burning or goes away in order for it to start cooling down. Well, at least on my screen, that's the way it works. I don't know if it's something dealing with a game. If y'all not having the problem, then you can let me know in the comments, but I'm having to wait for that to actually stop before my damn Seeker Mine starts cooling back down. So even though the cluster is kind of fucked sometimes, which it will actually blow up and then kind of fuck up sometimes and not cool down right, it's more the better choice because the majority of the time, once it hits, it starts cooling down right then and there. You don't have to worry about nothing else. You don't have to wait for gas to go away, for fire to go away. Once it hits, boom, it starts cooling back down. And that's what you want. You want to be able to get your status effect back as quickly as possible so you can keep pushing damage out. So, and then, of course, I use Recovery Link for my alt. Now my talents. I went into really big detail on these. I'm going to tell you why. Okay, first off, I picked Adrenaline. It's simple. It's going to be the thing I pick every time. Heal over time. So that's a given. Everybody should have it in any build or anything that they do. I went down and picked Shrapnel. Applying bleed to any target triggers a 30% chance per each target in 10-meter radius. Now that's simple. I'm doing cluster mines. I'm making them bleed every time I hit them. So I want to be able to make more enemies bleed. That way, if you know they're in status effect, then I can make more damage on them. Plus, if somebody else is running Urban MDR, they can get more damage too. Yes, it works that way too. Alright, and I also picked On the Move, of course, kill a hostile while moving to reduce incoming damage by 15% for 10 seconds. Now, maybe I'm just drunk or high as hell, but I've been noticing that when I'm doing this, you know, it's really good. I mean, you're wanting to be more tanky, so I'm moving around. Sometimes I'm not just like a sniper. I'm moving around, so I want to be able to get more, you know, reduction of incoming damage on me. And then also pick chain reaction, damaging multiple hostiles with an explosion to apply 20% more damage from the blast. All right, so that's the thing with the cluster. You're doing multiple blasts and you're making multiple damage, so you want to make more damage. You know, there you go. That's why I picked all this, and hopefully you guys agree. I'm explaining it pretty simple for you guys to understand that this is why I did. I will be showing this build off here in a moment. I haven't went into the DZ, but I would say the DZ would not be that bad, considering that yes, I'm not that like tough, but you're about to see why I feel like this is a good build, and so on and so forth of what I have tried to do to make it to where I can be tough. All right, so let's go ahead. First and foremost, we'll go over to character, and I'll be showing you. Let's see. Let me pick this. All right, now let's go over here and let's show you that my weapon damage is 45. My damage is 45,000 K, 39600 or something like that. So I'm doing over 45K a bullet. That's without any increase to damage. My critical hit chance is 11%. My critical hit damage is 49%. My headshot damage is 101%. I mean, as steady as the MDR is, there's really no point of you not being able to not hit them in the head. Stability is 24%. Range is 36 meters. So you got a miniature sniper on your hands right here. Reload is 2.3 seconds. Now we're going to go down here. Damage to elites is 11%. Enemy armor damage is 27%. I've got no threat. My skill power is 259,736. My skill haste is 50%. Now my survivability, I've got 248,720 health or toughness with 168,567 health and 3223 weapon armor mitigation. Now, yes, I would like to have it better. When I get better pieces, then I would do it. But y'all know that armor is just nothing like it used to be, and it's just it's not anything like it used to be. All right, guys. So now we're going to go in here. We're going to show you. All right, primary DPS is 351,049, and toughness is 248,720. Skill power is 259,736. Now firearms is 5705. Stamina is 2793, electronics is 6425. So you can see that what I do is try to unlock all talents on my gun by any means necessary. I may have to sacrifice certain things, but I will get those talents unlocked. Okay, there's just no way around it. You've got to work around, make a build a different way if you're wanting to make these talents to work. So this is why I chose this way. All right, so I've only gotten one Urban MDR to drop, and I got it in Lexington Event Center. Yes, you can get that on Legendary or Challenge or whatever the fuck it is. The highest M in there. So, anyways, what I'm trying to say is you can get that and Barrett's chest piece in there that I know of just by running it. So, I recommend doing it. That way you can get it done. If you don't know, now you do know. Alright, so we're only going to be showcasing this gun only, because this is the only gun I'm going to be using with this build. So, we got 22% enemy armor damage with 45.4K a bullet, 369 RPMs, and a 44 mag. Talented is one of my talents. Killing a target with this weapon increases skill power by 15% for 20 seconds. This effect does not stack. Killing a new target refreshes the timer. Let me tell you why this is one of the best fucking talents in the game. Simply put, okay, if you don't got much skill power, okay, skill power increases cooldowns. It increases a lot of shit. It's really freaking good. So you're mainly looking at, okay, skill power is going to make your skills more potent, and it's also going to cool your skills down to get them back quicker. So this is really good for people that don't have a lot of skill. All right, and this is really good for my build because I'm going to increase my skill power when I kill somebody. Now, maybe I was drunk, maybe I was high, but I'm going to tell you, when I kill somebody with my Seeker Mine, that shit gets activated. It ain't that my gun does it, it's that the Seeker Mine does it. Now, I will show you when I go out into the world or whatever. that means that this shit is either broke or that was intended that way. And I don't give a shit because I love it. So I don't even have to shoot nobody to actually get this percentage to come up. And that makes my shit cool down more. It makes my shit more potent. So, you know, that's why I love it so much. Now we got Fierce, which is, it's increasing your critical hit chance by 5%. I'd like to use those on shotgun or SMGs. I don't really care about the assault rifle when it comes to this. I really don't. But that was my role when I came in and got the MDR. So, I mean, I'd rather have something else to cool my skills down even fucking faster. But anyways, Distracted is the main talent. Your damage is increased by 18% against targets with status effects. Alright. That's just simply awesome. That's why I'm trying to get all of my shit down, cool down quick as possible so I can keep the status effect up on these enemies and agents as much as possible so I can push out more damage. Alright. Magazine, 120%, 4% critical hit damage, 5.5% rate of fire. The scope is a 24.5% optimal range, 3% critical hit chance, 6% headshot damage. Muzzle is 12% stability, 5% optimal range, 3% critical hit chance. And the grip is 12.5% stability, 4% critical hit damage, 4.5% reload speed. Now, yes, some of these could be better, but this is what I have to work with. So I'm fairly happy with what I got. Alright, now, since I've went over everything else, all we have left is the build itself. Of telling you the mods, telling you what gear pieces I picked and how all this goes. And then after that, the last thing actually will be me going out and murdering some bitches. Alright, so for my chest, I picked the Vigorous. Simply, I want overheal on all my healing abilities. So whenever I use booster, I'm getting damage increase, a damage reduced, and plus I'm getting overheal. You can't beat it. Vigorous, that's three main things that you're getting. You're getting a ton of health, you're getting damage increased and damage reduced. Pick it. The shit works. It's awesome. 1928 on armor, 731 on firearms, 1270 on electronics. Talent is the Vigorous, grants overheal to all healing abilities. 8% skill haste, 5% enemy armor damage, and 47% ammo capacity. We got a 262 firearms, 3% skill haste mod. We got a 264 firearms, 3% skill haste mod. And now we'll go over to my backpack. I picked Specialized. I don't want to have to rely on Inventive or whatever the hell. I think that's, anyways. I don't want to have to rely on anything else. I just want straight raw skill power all the time. So I picked Specialized. Adds 200% of firearms to stamina to skill power. It's 1263 armor and 1533 electronics, and it's got 13,270 skill power, 52% ammo capacity, 263 electronics, and 3323 skill power on the mod, and it's got 6% first aid self-heal performance mods on that. Now, I also going to go over here. I picked the Spec Ops gloves, a 903 armor, which is low, but you know, I wanted it because it increased it up to 50% on my skill haste because my other one had 7, so I went with 8. We got a 1270 firearm Savage. Critical hit chances increased by 7% against targets out of cover. Alright, so that's the thing. I'm just looking to increase my DPS and my firearms and all, or my DPS and my bullet damage. So that's why I went with Savage, because it increases this, you know, somewhat. So anyways, the firearms is really good roll too. Now it's got 16% critical hit damage, 8% skill haste, and 1331 assault rifle damage on that. Now, the last three pieces, we did have a Tactician Authority mask with 976 armor, 1521 firearms, 9785 skill power, 11% damage to elites, and our mod is a firearm mod, 262 firearms with 3% skill haste. I went over, and here we go, a Tactician knee pad with 1638 armor, 1524 skill power, and we went in and, or electronics, excuse me, and we went into tribute 16,481 health, 27% disorient resistance, 46% increased skill XP, and bleed resistance of 31%. Alright, and we do have a 268 electronics, 3% skill haste mod on it, and a 60% first aid self-heal. And last but not least is the 996 armor tactician holster with 1238 firearms, 1233 stamina, and 1153 electronics with 7% skill haste. Yes, I wish that the electronics was higher, at least max, because that'd be 100 and like 19 more or whatever, and that would increase my skill power. So I'm going to be lookout for another tactician that actually can do what this does. And I did put a performance mod 60% or 6% first aid self heal. Now, this is the thing. I picked the 2 and the 3 pieces, okay, of tactician for this. 2 pieces give me 15% skill haste, and 3 pieces give me 10% skill power. Alright, so that's why I've got the skill power that I do have and the skill haste that I do have. If you didn't have this, you wouldn't be able to get to 50, you'd be like 35. And you know, you may be a little bit higher, but it ain't going to be something that makes a big difference, considering that the skill haste is, I'll just tell you, skill haste is better to cool down your abilities, your skills, than skill power. It ranks differently. I don't remember how, but it's a lot better to cool them down than it will be for your skill power. Okay, so I mean, it just does. I've tested it out. It's a lot better. So I like my skills pack quicker than more potent for this build, just because that way I could get a status effect on the enemy and be able to hit them and hurt them more. Alright guys, so there's my build. So we're going to go out and kill us some boss and some enemies in the world, and hopefully you enjoy it. I will be right back, guys. Alright guys, we're going to go down here and I'm going to show you you know, what this can do. Now I'm going to show you right now. Pop my booster. Now watch it cool down. I'm going to count. Alright, now watch when my overheal goes out, and I'll count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, almost 4 seconds I get it back. I mean, I just feel like that's a better deal. Alright, now, let's do some major damage on this guy. I mean, you can see I could take damage, and from a yellow, you know, that's what I call them, yellows. Golds, whatever, bosses, you know, taking that kind of damage is just, you know, pretty good, because, you know, you've got full overheal on you, and you can be able to take some damage. So there you go. Now you're probably wanting to know what kind of damage it was doing. Well, you could see it's like 50 something thousand that you do when you have a status effect on the enemy itself. Now you could probably raise that a little bit higher just with your booster shot. So I consider this to be, you know, a pretty good build. I mean, you can actually, I got a scope, you know, and look how steady this is. It's not, and I ain't holding it down. I mean, yes, it's going up, but this is what happens when you're holding. And how fast it can go. I consider this to be one of the best guns in the game, just because of its stability, reload, how hard it can hit, and you don't have to rely on it for being a sniper, because this is really good. So hopefully you guys did enjoy the video, and before we go, I'm going to show you how fast the Seeker comes back. You got to pop it. Now what? Now, I mean, standing here and looking at it, you're like, oh, that ain't that fast. But I'm telling you, when you're in the heat of the battle, the status effects will be on them while this is cooling down. So you're going to be killing them quicker. And by the time you get killed or get them killed or the boss, whatever, you're going to have it already back again. Of course, a skill is not going to be as quick if you sit there and watch it. But as you can see, I get it back every 15 seconds pretty much. Now, if I get my skill boost up by the talented, then it's like 14, 13, somewhere in that area. So yes, it's pretty good. But anyways, guys, not everybody can get this build the way I've gotten it because it's got some really good pieces, but that's by grinding and working my ass off for several months to actually get the pieces to make this work now. But anyways, I'm going to be looking into the future. I will be doing I already done your ballistic shield, or not ballistic shield, but I've done your defense build. So I'm going to be doing another shield build here shortly, and I'm trying to get the remaining pieces I do need in order to make that really good. But I'm also working on a straight exotic build. So I've got the pieces, I'm just trying to get a little bit better pieces and to make it work right and to make it, very good. But anyways, guys, hopefully you did enjoy the video. Like, share, and subscribe. This has been JustHitSquare, and I will see you next time.